Welcome to Mitten Music.
Season 4, raw, live, and authentic. In these interviews from the Michigan Music Alliance Econ Summit, we talk with Connor Meston, a violist from West Michigan, and Brayden Flodin, founder of Rap Roots Media. It's Connor, right?
Yep.
Connor, all right. And you play in a lot of different, several different bands.
Yep, that's right. Play with Why Not, based here in Grand Rapids. Play with the Looper Brothers and Company, based out of Chessing, Michigan. I play occasionally with a group called Daniel Stags and the Critters, doing some mash graphs.
Okay.
And then I've done some performances with Jay Cotter, a looping artist out of Milford, Metro Detroit.
That's cool.
I've also performed live with Eric England, local singer-songwriter.
Okay.
And a couple others. Sat in with some bands throughout the last few years.
And you play the viola? Viola, sorry. Yeah. So it's not the common instrument in every band, right? So it's pretty cool that you're able to find all these different projects to play in too.
Yeah, it's really fun, honestly, and I like the viola's deeper tone compared to the violin. It's just how I've always been since I started playing it like over 20 years ago. And then at one point I found out that there was a violist in Joy Division.
Oh.
And so I was like, oh, okay. So at some point, at different points in rock history, there have been violists or violinists that have really contributed a lot.
Yeah.
Like Dave Matthews Band, or Charlie Daniels Band, just kind of like that. More like
because that's one thing.
blended in different genres. And
There's a
I just I'm stoked to be kind of a little bit of an unusual instrumentalist sometimes with the bands that I play with and use guitar effects pedals and stuff like that.
Cool.
Yeah. So how does like Why Not, for example? Like, how did you get involved in that project, and how did they come to you? Did you just know those guys and just kind of came about?
Yeah, so I met Tony Guerin back in 2014 in Grand Rapids. We became Facebook friends, didn't really connect for a while after that, but, we kind of like saw each other's stuff on social media, kind of in alignment on a few different things that we liked, and I had an opportunity to go to a music festival with him. We both went to a music festival together out of state in Ohio back in 2018.
Okay.
And so we carpooled all the way down there. At that music festival, he actually had been booked to play kind of like a little cafe stage that was at the festival. And so before his performance earlier in that same day, we kind of jammed out, and he was so impressed with my ability to follow along with him and kind of play to his songs that he invited me to join him up on stage. So he did a couple songs by himself, and then he had me up on stage, and I pretty much stayed up on stage for the remainder of the performance.
Dang.
We're only playing to maybe 25, 30 people, but it was
That's cool.
it was super cool. And that kind of initiated our relationship as two musicians. And after that, I started, at the time I was living in Lansing.
Okay.
So I was kind of commuting back and forth to Grand Rapids, and my folks lived in Grand Rapids. So I was going back and forth, and I would stop in Grand Rapids and go to the O2's open mics out there.
Yeah.
It was a great chance to jam and connect with a bunch of musicians in the American scene. And then when Tony was to record an EP for the band, I ended up becoming more involved, and that's how I became an official member after kind of sitting in and playing a couple random gigs before that.
Yeah.
So,
Cool. Legit.
Yeah, that's neat.
I love it. I love this origin story.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
yeah,
And it takes time, right? So it's not like everything always happens overnight. This seems like a long period of time. You guys built a relationship, found different ways, and then all of a sudden you were able to plug into this band along the way.
Yeah. One last thing I'll say too is that we had this EP release in January of 2020, and it was kind of tumultuous for a second because we released that and we had a lot of momentum. We packed out Midtown GR,
Yeah.
and I don't know if we sold it out, but it was pretty damn near full.
Close enough.
Yeah, and so. But as pandemics happened, and we just kind of had to keep rolling with it.
Yeah.
Had some changes in our lineup, but we've pulled through the pandemic, and we're still doing the thing.
Yeah. Anything new coming out for you guys?
So we do have a single that we released just on like YouTube at this point. We did a submission for NPR's Tiny Desk, and so we have a new song called Anchor, and so we're looking to release that hopefully in the near future on streaming services. We're probably going to re-record it, slightly different than the video that we have right now, but we have that. And we hope to get some sort of album, either another acoustic album or a full band album. I'm hoping that we can get that recorded before we get to this game.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah,
ready for
I've heard Anchor when I saw you guys at kind of stripped down version of you guys at the Stray.
Yeah.
I think it was last year at some point. But yeah, so cool. That's awesome. So what about the other projects? Anything like? Is the Rupel Brothers, you playing with them a lot, or is that kind of just, where's that stand?
Yeah, so with the Rupels, you know, I don't play every single gig with them, you know. I'm like the fourth member, if that makes any sense.
Yeah,
so
sure.
sometimes they'll play just as a duo, sometimes they'll play as a trio with upright bassist Mitch Brown, and so last couple years I've played at least a handful or two handfuls of gigs with them in a year, and this year I feel like I am playing a little bit more with them.
I'm not sure.
I used to be in a project called Junkie Super.
Oh, yeah.
The cyclist rock.
I went up by saying.
But yeah, I'm not as involved with that group anymore, so now it's given me an opportunity to kind of take on more gigs with other groups that I've already been involved with.
And I would say probably, I mean, as a violist, you're probably, if somebody wants a violist, there's not probably a lot of them.
That's what I was
in your
thinking.
situation, so you're
You
probably in a
got
good
people
spot.
reaching out to you like every so often. It's got to be somebody somehow.
Yeah, I mean,
Every once in a while.
I've played random one-off like wedding gigs too. It's not, it's not really my big thing, but like I will take wedding gigs.
You got to pay the bill.
Yep. And so like, I got reached out to, or somebody had posted, I think like I needed another string player for a wedding gig. I was like, yep, I'm interested.
Yeah.
Come in and play the viola. Worked out great for them and me. So
Yeah, definitely. So Why Not is basically your main project you're working on. Would you say that's true?
it's like, yeah, it's the project I've been in the longest.
Okay.
But I definitely become more active in Rupel Brothers in the last probably like 6 to 8 months.
Okay. Yeah. And is that, when you said before, like, sometimes you're asked to play with them, sometimes not, is that kind of based on the venue they're playing or the setup?
Yes.
Okay.
It definitely can depend on a number of different things, like size of venue, like expected audience and turnout budget, that kind of thing, and then also like have I scheduled or booked something with somebody or need a prior commitment already.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like I'm a little bit first come first served in terms of like booking with people.
Smart.
Yeah. That's
But
awesome.
I would say, like there is that's to a degree, you know. Like I can't be like a full-time member of every single one of the projects that I mentioned either. Like, so. But with the Rupels and Why Not, if I have not been booked for a date yet, and I get reached out to by either one of those bands, or they're like, because I kind of do booking for Why Not, so so kind of like doing that myself a bit. But if I get a commitment from one of those two projects first or the other, then yeah, I take the one that I got first.
Sure. Yeah, makes sense.
Take it. Yeah, thanks for sharing all that. That's good stuff.
Yeah.
What's the best way for people, music artists that are interested in having you play for them, for even if it's just a one-time deal? Is there a way to reach out to you directly?
Yeah, so my Instagram is viola_Connor.jams, JMC, and so you can follow me there, follow along with what I'm doing, and reach out to me more in a casual format, or if you want to email me, my email is connorjmeston@gmail.com. C-O-J-Meston.
Okay. Perfect. Yeah.
Thanks
stuff.
for sharing.
Well, we'll be checking out the new tunes from Why Not later this year. It'll be exciting. Yeah.
Looking forward to it. And I still have yet to see them live, so
you
next
got a
chance I get, I will. And Why Not plays somewhat compared to other artists that I kind of follow. They play more often than other ones, so I'm expecting.
Yeah,
I'll hit it soon.
Our schedule varies, but we are still playing Buttermilk Tambourine.
Nice.
We're playing Saturday, it's June 14th specifically, at 11:10 p.m.
You know it, because you put it in your calendar to make sure you were there that night.
Yep. So. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, we'll check it out for sure.
Great festival.
Perfect. Good to hear it.
Well, thanks, Connor, for joining us for a little bit here
Yeah.
at the Econ Summit. It's been great.
Yeah, this has been a great summer.
Yeah.
Very great experience.
Yeah.
So we got Brayden from Rap Roots
Media. Yes.
All right. So what is that? We're here at the Michigan Music Alliance Econ Summit.
Yeah.
So you're one of the vendors today. We've never heard of you before, which is great. We love discovering new things. That's what we're all about. So tell us a little bit about what this thing is.
I am a 21-year-old college student, and I did music independently while I was in high school, and then music got a bit too expensive for this college student, so
Sure.
I decided, like, I want to figure out an avenue in music, so I just started putting interviews together. My cousin is like a filmmaker and does all that sort of artsy-fartsy stuff, so I was like, let me interview you, because he had like a documentary that was premiering at a theater, and I was like, let me interview you.
Yeah.
Did one with him, and it did really good numbers on YouTube. That's where we post all our reviews and stuff is on YouTube. So did that, and then more music artists reached out, and I was like, all right, we're on.
Sweet. So I assume you focus in on rap?
Hip hop, yeah.
Okay.
I'd say that's the main focus, but I'll interview anybody, man. Like, had people from all over the country reach out. I've had poets come on my show. I've had producers, engineers, all sorts of people. Like, I try not to box it in too much. I try to keep it like music centric, but
Yeah.
interview anybody.
All right. So we have a fellow podcaster with us for sure. That's cool. So how long you been doing this then?
Just about a year. I actually came to the last summit just as a person who wanted to learn, and this year it's been real full circle to be able to come back and do this. So I'm excited.
So where are you going to college?
I go to Ferris State University.
So are you in the business music program?
No, but I am. I know Paul Quant was here yesterday.
Yeah.
That guy. Shout out Paul Quant. He talks to me a bunch. I am actually a marketing major, and my minor is journalism, so I want to be a music journalist. So writing stories about media journalism is kind of what I do. So I figured just marketing's a bit more broad.
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't really want to box myself in too much on any front. So
Sure, yeah.
figure marketing is the way to go because you can market every and anything.
Yeah.
And right now I'm marketing my brand. So.
That's right. That's cool. And then, like you're like living the study. Like
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. People will talk about like my professors will be like, "You're gonna need this one day when you guys are running a business."
It's right. I'm applying it right now. Yeah, exactly. That's cool.
It's nice.
I remember I got my first IT job 20 years ago, a help desk thing, and I didn't have any experience. I was working like agricultural construction at the time. So I took some night class to get you Microsoft cert training. It was a year-long thing.
Yeah.
3 months in, I got myself my own job just because I'm good with resumes and interviews. So I kept going to the class, and they're like, "Oh, you get a job, listen." I already got a job, guys. In fact, I'm out of here because this sucks. I just didn't go to the rest of the stuff. So I was like, I only got this to get a job. I got the job.
I got the job.
It worked out for me.
Yeah, I'm actually interning with local spins this summer, and I'm hoping to
that's perfect.
have sort of
awesome.
a symbiotic relationship there. Maybe turn it into a job down the line. I probably shouldn't be saying this on camera, but
No, it's all-
that's
well,
my
it's-
goal, and I've already told them.
Well, you're going into music journalism.
Yeah.
It makes a lot of sense. I mean,
I've
you work
worked
with
with
John, we make a lot. I mean,
He,
perfect.
John was our first 2 episodes on the show. Was John.
John was he came out and talked to me in Big Rapids, and I thought that was very. I mean, he could have just sent somebody to come.
Yeah.
Or called you on the phone.
He called me on the phone, but he took the time to come sit with me and talk with me. And what do you like? What are you into? Here's when you'll start. Giving me all the details. And I told him straight up, I was like, I want to turn this into a job. I want it to be like a symbiotic thing, because I know they need people that are, I guess, more invested in the local hip hop scene. So I was like, this is perfect. So
We were just talking. We're like, we need to talk. Like, we've had a couple names drop around, but nothing really has connected. We need a producer, rapper, someone in that side of things that we don't typically get to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like with a lot of hip hop, it sort of gets glossed over in a lot of like contemporary music classes and like things of that nature, so it tends to get skipped. And then like a lot of the bigger promotions that do cover it, not necessarily here, but just in general, are very like focused on the violence of hip hop, which isn't really my thing.
Yeah.
I would say I'm more so like that's why my brand is called Rap Roots, because I want to keep the music first.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of the biggest things.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I want people to tell their story, and I feel like a lot of people have got stories to share.
Oh yeah, and that's the whole thing. I mean, and yesterday at the conference, they talked about that. You know, it's like you got to have a story.
Yeah.
The question is, what's your story? And if you can't answer that, then you don't
have one yet.
you don't have a story yet.
What do you even do in here without a story?
Yeah. You got to start with a story. Everyone loves stories.
Yeah.
So you also mentioned you were into music. So did you do rap or hip hop or what was
Yeah,
it?
he did.
I did a little bit.
Yes, he
Did a
did.
little
Yes,
bit.
he did. Of course he did. How
I
could
did
he
a little
have this job and not have done
I did a little bit. But it was a thing where I did it with like my boys in high school, and then
Yeah.
boys kind of stopped doing it, and I was paying for all the studio sessions,
Oh,
so
of
I
course.
was like, guys, I'm running out of money. Guys, I'm running out of money. And then I just started going to school, and that's a arm and a leg. So
Right. So did you ever produce anything under your guys' name? I mean, I would say release anything.
yeah, I released some stuff. But now I look back at it and cringe, but it's all part of the journey, part of the process.
Yeah, I mean, I think every artist does that, right? I think mostly they come out with something and they're always ready to move on to the next thing. So.
My goal now is I'm planning to do a show in Big Rapids down the line. I want to take the money from that, like I make some tickets or whatever.
Yeah.
I want to put that into a collective album.
Oh, okay.
Like Roots Media album put together.
compilation.
Yeah, like a compilation album, a bunch of different Michigan sounds,
Yeah.
people I know and have connected with over the last year. Just putting those people together and putting people together who I think work well together. That's always been a bone I've really wanted to pick at with myself. I've been a person who's like very into the executive production side of music.
Yeah.
So it's something that I would really like to delve into a bit.
I always thought, like, even before I thought about podcasting or music or whatever, I always thought the coolest job would be to be like, I don't know what you would call it. It's probably called different things, but putting songs to movie soundtracks or like, and there's
Like a music, like the person who like scores the
scoring as well as just as recorded songs already.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
licensing music.
Yeah, yeah,
Like, oh, this scene needs this song.
This
so like
song.
do it this way. Like that. I think about that stuff all the time. I always thought that was the coolest thing.
Yeah.
So it's just a little similar.
Yeah, I've always been a person who's like, I always have wondered like, okay, how this song come together, how this album come together. So being able to create that little world for my brand and for the people I've met, it's like awesome. Yeah, it's the shit. I didn't know if I could cuss on it.
Oh, you
so
can.
I'm trying to say
Actually, we'll put words in your mouth for you. Make
Oh,
it terrible.
Lord, this is really rough. I gotta get out of here.
Totally kidding. Totally
Gotta
kidding.
get out.
So how can people connect with Rap Roots Media? How do they find your stuff? You said YouTube earlier.
Yeah, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, all the different social medias.
Yep.
It's Rap Roots Media on all social media platforms. It's raprootsmedia.com. We write stories. We have merchandise.
Yeah, I like the merch, man.
Yeah, so we're selling shirts here today.
It's a record.
Dude, I love records. I have a vinyl like record stand at home that I've been dreading setting up, but I need to set it up so I can listen to my records.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get stressed. I can't listen to my records, man.
I hear you. I hear you.
But yeah, I'm excited to get that set up. But Rap Roots Media on all platforms, and yeah, check us out. I'm working with local twins over the summer, so check them out.
Yeah, check out some new articles from Brayden.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Good to talk to you guys. This has been great.
Booyah.
Booyah!
If you like this episode, check out all of our episodes on your favorite streaming platform.
Or even our website, themittenmusic.com.
Or if you want short clips of our episodes, check out our socials.
We got Facebook.
We have Instagram
We got TikTok.
and YouTube.
We're all over the social media game.
Make sure to check out some live Michigan music or listen on your favorite streaming platform.